Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday today, and this is the first time that I've been out shooting in 4K landscape in over a week. Yeah. Who's missing horse guards yet? Me. And I'm sure a lot of you. I'm on the Strand. This rather lovely old building here has been somewhat neglected, which is a bit of a shame. But why are we on the Strand? Hey. Because the Strand leads us to other interesting places, which in turn lead us back to horse guards. I honestly have no idea what is or isn't the case at horse guards. I do know that the front was covered very, very briefly past it last week. So we will see. In other words, I'm pretty much in the dark, as are all of you. Oh, I've just noticed I'm outside King's College London. I'm not here, guys, to take an English language degree and learn how to pronounce lieutenant instead of lieutenant, as so many people still like to point out in the older footage. So we're going to continue along the Strand and see what we can find on our way to horse guards. But there's going to be a detour first. Why? Because I'm going to show you what I think personally is the best Christmas tree in London. I thought it'd be good to be out early this morning because last Saturday, oh goodness me, go out after about 12 noon, 1 p.m, forget it. Everywhere is absolutely solid chocolate block rammed. You can't even move. But you'd be able to walk around and film like this afternoon, this evening, forget it. Absolutely impossible. This, by the way, folks, is a rather wondrous place as well. Yes, it is. It's Somerset House, and we seem to have caught it at a rather opportune moment. Yes, there's a Christmas tree. There's also an ice rink, as you can see. Skate at Somerset House. Look at that. How lovely. Why an opportune moment? Well, there's no one skating. Why is that good? Because we're not going to capture any accidents which might result in the video being deleted. There we are, another example of rather splendid central London hidden architecture. I mean, it's hidden in the sense that you wouldn't know it's here. If you walked past, you could miss it. A momentary glance through and you'd notice it's here, otherwise it's very easy to miss. Thinking back to last year, I'm pretty sure this was it was sponsored by Moët Chandon last year. Skate Lounge by Whispering Angel Provence. No idea what that is. The tree is a bit disappointing actually compared to last year as well. This isn't, let me confirm, the tree I was talking about earlier. You know, when I mentioned that sort of, I'm going to show you a great tree. This isn't it. There's another one. Lots of TikTokers and other people actually wandering around today. Here's the ice rink. This is wonderful in the evening, but again, it will be absolutely chocker. It'll absolutely packed, folks. So no chance. We've got it quite fortuitously. The guy's actually just resurfacing the ice. So no one's on there, which is good because if somebody did fall over, my video could well get deleted for the accident factor. So he's resurfacing. Meanwhile, as you can see, people are waiting to go on and skate. Most of them stuffed in that sort of, what is it? Oh, that's the skate entrance, in fact, they've called it. Yeah, they've built that sort of little spot over there where everybody's getting their boots on. Anyway, that's Somerset House and the ice rink. Let's plod on, otherwise end up being a 15-hour video, which much as I would love to do that. The phone can only do about 2 hours max, but I will try to keep today under that anyway. We will see. We will have to see, folks. And luckily enough, the security guard just walked past me on my left, who was definitely going to say something. Didn't. Why? Because I shouldn't really be wandering around in there filming. It is private property. They could have thrown me out. But hey, we managed to capture it just in time. If that had been this afternoon with it being super packed with people skating and the rink full, I would definitely have got booted out. Okay, so back on the strip, back in the hood. Continuing our walk along the Strand. So it's a public art installation, I guess, here. This is the Marconi wing. BBC building. With lots of lovely coloured chairs. And outside seating. I'm old enough to remember when this wasn't pedestrianised, and to be honest, folks, I think pedestrianisation has kind of killed this part of the Strand. Sad thing to admit, because I'm quite in favour of pedestrianisation, but this was not done particularly well at all. It used to be bustling with traffic all along here, not anymore. Yeah, they really killed the hustle and bustle of it. In the summer it's okay, you've got all students and other people that study around here. LSE just behind me, King's we saw a little while ago. Students out, relaxing, dining al fresco and so on, but yeah, in the winter, dead. Completely killed it. Right, we need to wait for the lights, and we're going to cross over, see if we can find that magic, massive Christmas tree. I've already seen it. I saw it last week, and the reason that I'm going to show you that one, I will briefly show you the Trafalgar Square tree because we're going to walk past it anyway en route to Horse Guards. But the reason I'll show you the one in Covent Garden is that it's so much superior. Not only because it is a beautiful tree, but even the way they decorated it. Very, very, very disappointing. Almost universal condemnation of Trafalgar Square's paltry little offering. So I'm not sure it's because the Norwegians are unhappy that we left the EU and are still getting over it, or they just couldn't find us a proper tree this year. Because that tree has been gifted to the UK by the Norwegian government for an awful long time. But yeah, quite pitiful effort this year. That's Waterloo Bridge, folks, there, going over to the south of the Thames. We're carrying along here. Yummy. Nice by breakfast. The only problem is I've already had breakfast. That would make it brunch. It is a pity, actually, that the weather isn't good, but I'll be honest, people, past week has been pretty dreadful. I think there was one sunny day yesterday. So we haven't actually missed much in terms of, hey, it was a beautiful sunny day at Horse Guards, blah, 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 blah. Guards there or not, it's been quite pitiful, to be honest, it really has. Point being, it couldn't actually get any worse, even if it tried to get worse. Okay, we will continue along here, and I'm going to cut through to my right into Covent Garden briefly. And let's find that giant tree. It's interesting because every hour, on the hour, from noon, every day, they have a snowfall in Covent Garden. And although it may sound a little bit silly, it actually works rather well. The kind of bar restaurant faces the church, has this, I don't know, I'm not sure it's a snowblower, I don't know what it is, but I think it's probably a snowblower. And then on the hour, boom, it covers everybody with fake snow. Now, why is that interesting? Well, last weekend when I was there, it was actually pretty cold, and the crowd was massive. I was genuinely surprised that so many people had come along just to enjoy it, getting white material all over their faces. Southampton Street. Yeah, myself included. Okay, let's walk up this little sort of what's it going to call it? I guess it's a minor incline. Now, Covent Garden is another place you can walk around in the evenings because they have public performers, live music, and just a ridiculous number of diners. Add in the people turning up for Christmas, that fake snowfall, and the atmosphere. I mean, the atmosphere is good, I'm not going to criticise it. Probably the best actually in central London. And you have a recipe for complete chaos. So again, it would be impossible to do this in the evening, it really would. Just entering into the market in a moment. Looking nice and Christmassy. I'm pretty sure from memory that the tree's on the left. Gosh, out drinking this early, I'm surprised. and envious. What I'll do, everybody, is go this way and then cut through the centre of the market. That way you can see the decorations, the massive Christmas decorations, bells and stuff. Reasonably tastefully done. And then we'll get to the pièce de résistance, that tray, which was our goal, as well as horse guards, of course, at the end of the video. Candy floss, yummy. Nothing like a healthy breakfast. Sugar and additives free. Or perhaps a German hot dog. Gosh, there's actually a queue for people to go into the Transport Museum, TfL Transport Museum. Look at this. Of all the things there are to do in London, a week roughly before Christmas. Hey, let's go to the TfL London Transport Museum. Curious choice, but there we are, each to their own. This is pray for people it doesn't start raining. It's luckily not too breezy, so the audio should be alright. Plus, you know, seeing this part of Covent Garden before everybody's here being silly is actually a pleasure, because last week obviously these little sort of gingerbread houses were full of people putting faces and so on. I really hope the security not going to say anything to me as well. We will see. Oh, a little Max Mara, looks like a pop-up, Christmas pop-up. Yeah, look. Not sure it was as successful as they were hoping, but there we are. I will cut through if the security guards are not watching me. That little area we saw a moment ago with the fake Christmas trees. Anyway, that's the well, one of the entrances into the Royal Opera House here at Covent Garden, over in the corner. And we will emerge far, far, far at that end. So let's cut through the middle, pretty much. And hopefully, if the security do stop me, I'll be honest and tell you, hey guys, I'm filming a video for YouTube. Most places they're pretty chill, but you know, it being Christmas and there being lots of people here, they're a teeny bit more on it than they would be at any other time of the year, I can tell you that. I noticed it just from sort of eyeballs. I'm trying to avoid eye contact, but I noticed the eyeballs on me as I'm walking. Look, it's like a little sort of gingerbread thing. Kind of cute. I'm not actually sure there's a way to walk through. Is there a cut through? I can't see. I think it's actually just for people taking pictures. Let's go through here into the main hall. Rather annoying that they haven't actually lit it properly yet. I guess it needs to be X o'clock. Actually, wait, the other problem that we've got in there is going to be copyright because of the music. Last. Okay, let's have a walk through. I might need to mute this section, we'll see. It depends on exactly what's being played or sung and whether it triggers YouTube's copyright filter. If it does, that's obviously a real pain. If he's singing some sort of medieval motets or something like that, we might be alright. Not sure what on earth, where the music's coming from, what he's singing. Where, is it this guy here? 1 second. No, it can't be, surely. Maybe it is. Well, I mean, we can safely say there isn't pop music, nor is it contemporary music. There's no way that voice is coming from this guy. I'm sure it's not, but there's no one else there. I think he's pretending. That would be super unfortunate if YouTube killed the video because he's singing some, I don't know what that is. It's like Baroque motets, maybe Monteverdi, something along those lines. I'm not really sure actually. A lot of security guys in high vis actually sort of wandering around. It all looks rather Christmassy there, doesn't it? How lovely. Right, that tree, folks, is just out here. Okay, public performer here already, all day at the weekends. Some of them are great, some of them are complete, no disrespect to the performers. Actually, wait, I'm not going to say that. Let's just say that some of them are less inspiring than others. But the good ones are remarkable. And let me get back actually, because the tree's so big, I won't be able to fit it in the frame. I need to be filming in portrait to get it all in, look. You know, it's just super annoying when you can't fit it all in, but hey, there it is, look. Isn't that a lovely tree? And for anyone thinking of coming down for those hourly snowfalls, happens up there. The snow machine is up there, right on the corner, blowing over toward the tree. So that's the key spot, folks, and I'd advise you to get here at least 30 minutes before the hour, because this entire area in front of me, all of it, gets completely filled. This entire piazza area, completely filled, even on the weekday evenings. Amazing, apparently. I have no idea, I didn't even see what he did, but there we are. I'm sure it was remarkable anyway. So there we are. That's our very Christmas looking Covent Garden. Rather lovely, hey? Quite tastefully done, unlike certain parts of London which are less tastefully done, I think is the word we're looking for. The morning jogging groups are out as well. All sorts going on here. And that absolutely massive tree. Even if I tried to film it at night, folks, the camera on this phone does not do particularly well when the lighting's less than very thorough, alas. But yeah, I mean, it gives you an idea just how enormous this tree is. I honestly have no idea how they put the base in. Reasonably limited space here, but the fact they managed to fit it all in. Oh, look, people are getting super dressed up with their photographers, look. Hiring a photographer to get super pictures in Covent Garden at the tree.
Hopefully, by the end of the show, I will be standing on the top of this ladder.
That is so weekend in London at Christmas, it really is. I have no idea what this guy's doing, but again, let's move on. Okay, so we are exiting onto King Street. I'm not going to go through Covent Garden proper in the sense of going past the tube station, because it's not actually going to be of any use. It'll take us massively toward Leicester Square and not in the direction of Trafalgar Square. As I mentioned, I will include the other tree in Trafalgar Square en route to Horse Guards. Why? Because, hey, that way you can see that I'm not exaggerating when I say that it's something of a letdown comparatively. I mean, maybe they fluffed it up or beefed it up in some way, I don't know, but when they unveiled it, it was something of an anticlimax, I can tell you that. Tor Maggiore, looking rather lovely. How Christmassy is that, eh? One of the most famous restaurants here in Covent Garden, and rightly so, actually. Okay, I want to get myself back to the Strand. This will make it far easier to head to Trafalgar Square. So we need to go this way. Also, folks, a lot of you, of course, are mentioning the fact that, hey, why are the videos you posted recently in portrait? And the answer to that, how lovely, look, St Paul's Church, beautiful. The answer to that is I've been posting archive footage for two reasons. One, so that I've got backups of a good number of the significant lives on YouTube, should they get lost. And some have been lost, unfortunately, guys. two very important lives. A lot of you remember the live where the trooper's mum came along and laid a small tribute on his boots in the tunnel. The original of that has, alas, been lost. Either that or I'm blind because I cannot find it anywhere, and I really did spend quite a bit of time looking for it. And a couple of others. I think it was just because there were so many lives in quick succession between February and September that some of them would have just been overlooked. I probably forgot to download it, or it was just missed. To give you an idea though, there are in total 273 lives. Yeah. And that's going from the first ever live, which was New Year's Eve last year, to September, which was the last one that I put in the archive. There have been a couple since, but yes, to September. So more than 250, eh? It's a lot of lives. And the good news is about, as far as I can see, 90% seem to be there, plus maybe even more. So far 3 are missing, and I've either mislabeled the files. I mean, they'll probably never be found unless I watch every single file, or they were not downloaded. And watching through all of it's impossible. There is more than I thought, about 350, 360 hours worth. In other words, a hell of a lot. That's why instead of trying to dig through, for little sort of highlight moments, I'm just posting them raw. And a lot of you have picked out certain things in some of the videos that I'd actually completely forgotten about, which was a nice surprise. Because let's be honest, guys, in 7-8 months of filming at Horse Guards and hundreds of hours, there will of course be lots of little gem moments. Speaking of which, we had a kind of idiots phase. Idiots did this, idiots did that, idiots got in trouble, and yes, that content is fun. Today's 2 videos that I'll be posting, along with this one as well, are going to be a little bit more on the optimistic side. Wholesome moments at Horse Guards. Coming up, 2 absolute classics that a lot of you will remember. But for the first time being posted completely raw and unedited. And then next week, once we've gotten past that, we're going to hit some point next week. I'm not sure exactly when. Still a few other major lives that need to be posted. At some point next week, we will hit last June. I say last year, I mean this June, but you know what I mean. June past. Why is that significant? Well, because on the 23rd of June, the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery arrived. A lot of you seem to think, having spotted some of the older videos, that they were Fusiliers. No, easy to understand why given the uniforms, but not Fusiliers, gunners from the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. So I'm sort of forewarning a lot of you, because a lot of people haven't seen that footage. I'm mindful of the fact that the majority of you watching on YouTube were not folks that used to watch the live. So a lot of you are, but the majority of people watching on YouTube, I can tell from the comments, are not familiar with the old lives where a lot of the questions were explained. It's the lovely Charing Cross station, train station. Rather grand building. Nothing to see inside. Let's continue. So that's the plan. Wholesome videos today. Still debating tomorrow. Bear in mind I've got about 30 videos already uploaded. It's just a matter of changing them from private to public. Oh, there's a snowman. It's actually a big issue seller dressed as a snowman. Look. Happy snowman. With a carrot nose. Cute way to get donations. Good man. Right, so we're walking toward the National Gallery, everybody. Why? Because that's where Trafalgar Square is. And it's nice to be able to just stroll around without worrying about stopping, starting, or people pushing into me. Not to mention, if it's not completely jammed, then everyone doesn't look at me sort of thinking, hold on, why is he talking to himself? Fair point. That is not St Paul's Cathedral, guys, just in front of us. even though the dome bears a striking resemblance. Walking past another absolute architectural masterpiece. This is St Martin in the Fields. We've seen this before many times. Just off Duncan Street here on Trafalgar Square. Gates are closed, but it's the porticos at the front. It is a glorious church. You can really see how glorious when we're over on the Trafalgar Square side. Oh, Openreach, British Telecom engineers. Hopefully fixing the wretched mobile networks that we have to put up with here in London. This is the little sort of Christmas fair. A bit naff, to be honest, bit of a damp squib at Trafalgar Square. There's St Martin in the Fields. If I dash the camera around, isn't that a thoroughly lovely looking church? One of my personal favourites. It's where all of those amazing classical recordings are made with the Academy of St Martin in the Fields and Sir Neville Marriner through the 70s, 80s, etc. Golden period for recorded classical music. A bit of George Sholti, Sir Neville Marriner, Herbert von Karajan, etc. Anyway, so this is the Christmas fair. It might look completely deserted, and you're not far off, but it's still early. Again, later today, solid. Great, here we go. Now definitely hit the copyright again with the music. That said, it's Jingle Bells. Is that copyright? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. Right, anyway. The reason I'm at the top of the steps, that's the tree. I mean, it is taller than the one in Covent Garden, no doubt. It's nowhere near as tall as Nelson's Column behind it, but it's, you know, a good halfway up. Yeah, I don't know why, it just seems somewhat under-decorated to me. So there we are. National Gallery, as mentioned. If you're watching this video on Sunday, tomorrow, then that's because it would have taken YouTube ages to mute the copyright sections. Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest problem. You will notice a lot of people do Christmas walks and so on in London, but copyright is a major issue. Not in a bad way. It just means that the videos are held and you can either mute or remove those sections. Removing them with YouTube's editor is a pain. Nativity scene, this is always dropped here. Looking rather lovely. There we are. Yeah. Christmas nativity scene here in Trafalgar Square. Fountains are looking pretty clean as well. In fact, the whole square is looking in tip-top condition. Which takes us to Whitehall momentarily. And we all know what comes after that, don't we? Yes, we do. Now, I'm not expecting anything, you know, super revelatory. If the awnings are still up at the front, the most we're going to get, potentially, if there's a little gap, I might be able to peek through. But the main thing is to actually show you, because so many of you, and I was thinking, you know, what is anyone really going to care about about what we can see when everything is closed? Because even the front were open, all we're going to see effectively is a building site or a dug up yard. But hey guys, the people get what the people want on this channel, so that's why I'm out early to find out. Saturday, I have no idea if there's a protest today. Even if there is, it will be much later. I will have my feet up way before that even happens. Bear in mind, it's only just after 10 AM here in London. So even if actually this were a normal Saturday, the King's Guard would just have come out for the day's first shift. I think, to be honest though folks, a lot of you were hungry for the 4K landscape, myself as well. And it's somewhat frustrating looking back at all of that glorious TikTok live footage and thinking, oh my god, if it had all been captured in 4K. So going forward, of course, everything will be captured in 4K landscape. Why? We've got a massive archive. Every single thing we see will be captured with, you know, this glorious clarity. Look, even he's saying it's so clear. He said, yes, 4K, please. Things seem, from reading newspapers and being out and about this week, to have calmed down somewhat. What I mean, I haven't seen anything referring to just oil in the past week. I don't know if there is a Palestine protest today. There was one last week, nowhere near as large as what we've seen before. But remarkably, you wouldn't actually believe this, I wouldn't believe it, and they're actually coming this way. Folks, we've got horses at Horse Guards, not the King's Guards horses, 2 police horses. Isn't that utterly extraordinary, the timing? Let me see if I know either of the officers. If I do, I will ask the names of the horses. Isn't that remarkable? Look at this. How lovely are they, eh? Wow. 2 real beauties here. Can I ask his name, officer? The name of this horse? Oh, look at that. He didn't even bother to respond. Wow. What a thoroughly unpleasantly rude officer. But hey, they can't all be as nice as the majority that we meet at Horse Guards. He literally looks at me in disgust, like, how dare you talk to me? Wow. Lovely. Isn't that a real pity, guys, eh? On a very optimistic morning, politely said to him, could I ask the name of your horse? He just looks at me like, don't even talk to me. What a shame. But you know what? Most of the officers we talk to are lovely. They're friendly and they're polite, and it's a pleasure to talk to them. So what a pity, eh? That he had to drop a damp squib on our little walk. I do recognise him actually though, so I'm not sure why he's got the I'll ask him next time I see him at Horse Guards. Be like, hold on, I did ask the name of your horse and you just basically stared at me. Right, anyway, we're getting closer to the front. What does that mean? Hey, it means no horse. At least we got some horses, even if we didn't get the names of the horses. Let's see. There are actually some tourists looking at the front, but I'm pretty certain it's going to be covered. Let's have a look and see what we have here. If it is a building site, then to my mind, if the front hasn't got awnings, it'll have at least some sort of protective screens. Oh yes, here we are, look. I'm just trying to spot any small gaps, but it looks actually as though they've, oh wait, even across what would have been some gaps between the barrowing, they've been pretty thorough. Other than laying on the floor, there's not much chance of really seeing it. However, hold on a second everybody, I spy a gap. Oh goodness me, wow, wait, it does look like stuff is being dug up. Wait, let's have a look. So here's the gap. Look, something's being dug up. What I'm going to do, guys, I won't be able to talk because it'll be a bit high. I'm going to lift this up over to show you what's going on in the yard.
Yeah, it's here, but they usually it's a bloke like that.
Okay, it looks like they're digging up some ducts in the yard for that cabling. I did mention, guys, that the primary reason for the renovation work is cabling, recabling. And it's good to see that
I do know about that.
British workmen are not letting us down at all. What do I mean by that? Well, what happens when you give out a service contract to a workman in the UK? They come along, they dig everything up, or make a hole. Everything looks glorious. You think, wow, this is going to be a good job. Then the second they finish making a mess and digging up the hole, they leave. Drink some tea, drink a lot more tea, and then they come back. And then they observe and take pictures for reference of the mess that they've made, the hole, etc. And then they go away and they drink some more tea. And that process is repeated for the duration of the contract. About 2 hours before the contract expiration, they will refill the holes and then go and have a final cup of tea and then sign off. The job is done. Yep. So anyway, that is, folks, what you wanted. That is the update. The update is that there's no update, effectively, other than the fact that the works are ongoing. I'm quite relieved that they haven't sort of ripped up the entire yard, because if they had ripped up the entire yard, that would be problematic. Why? Because all of us, we just know they would find something under there, archaeological or otherwise, and that would be a problem. Why? Because English Heritage or the council would step in, further investigation, conservation, blah blah blah, and it would massively impede the work that's already been going on here. So we can have last look over at this end.
So, and then we draw it as a
Now, I'm thinking as well, if they're only digging up those small areas to lay the cabling, that should, in theory, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, mean that it's completed far sooner than one would otherwise have thought. Yeah, but we will see. We really will see, won't we? So there we are. That is our Horse Guards update. Unless I know 100% something has changed, I will be back here again once it reopens. Once I know the King's Guard are out for their first morning. I know the date, but again, that could well change, folks. It really could. I'm going to step back into the road, one, because it's clear, and two, so we've got that very, 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 very nice shot of the front, unobscured. Famous retractable bollards, guys, in the middle. There's 3 bollards that go up and down into the ground. And there it is. I think, actually, if I get back a teeny bit more, as far back as I can get, that is Horse Guards almost in its entirety, at least from this side, the Whitehall side. If there are other moments, folks, that any of you remember in particular from the last few months of filming here, drop them in the comments of this video, because much as I can look through the TikTok highlights that were posted and things that I remember, I know a lot of you, because you mentioned it before in other comments, remember certain other things or particular horses. I was looking through to see if I had a very good live featuring Pagan, and would you believe, we know Pagan's been here several times because we've caught her during the lives, but I couldn't find one, which is annoying, because there have been several lives when we've had mares here. Much earlier in the year, at the beginning, of course, we had Arnie, who is a mare. Arnie's actual name is Raiden. Pagan is another very, very famous mare, probably the second most famous lifeguard mare, to be honest. And then we've got other mares, blues mares like Quintessence, etc. So I am going to dig through some of the horse footage. So the plan, as mentioned, will be King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery this week, jumping headfirst into those summer months, and a lot happened actually. But more importantly, different horses. The King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery have bays, beautiful bays, smaller than the HCAV horses, but no less interesting. So King's Troop and their horses, and then after that, anything you guys pick up on or mention that you'd like me to try and find, horse-wise or otherwise, classic moments from the last few months. And I will do that, because if during the course of this week I'm putting up the King's Troop footage, so Wholesome weekend this weekend, King's Troop footage, and then after that, anything that you guys mention. There's a new shop opening here. I have no idea what that is. Just opened. That wasn't here the last time I was on Whitehall. Now in theory, all goes according to plan. Horse Guard should reopen in roughly 2 weeks, give or take. Now again, guys, that can change. I dare say they will not reopen early. Why? Because it's not the way that that public or even private works ever go here. They always prefer to overrun the job and charge more. So even if it's scheduled to be reopening in 2 weeks, it would not surprise me at all if we end up finally seeing the gates reopen and the guard back. Just slightly into the new year. That would be my bet. I mean, you never know. Is the military? They like things to be precise and on time, but civilian contractors doing the work, not military engineers. So let's hope, everybody, that's the way it works out. So back at Trafalgar Square, and folks, wherever you are, there's a little update that you've all been waiting for. I'm sorry it wasn't, the explosive update you're waiting for in terms of, hey look, I was joking, the guards are back, but they'll be back soon, folks. And as this will probably, in all likelihood, be the final 4K landscape video of this year. I'm not saying 100%, but in all likelihood, bearing in mind it's only a week from Christmas. Wherever you are, people, whichever continent, whichever country, whichever time zone, Merry Christmas, guys. Or happy holidays to everybody that doesn't celebrate Christmas. Because I know a lot of you watching will not be celebrating Christmas for different reasons, religious or otherwise, and there we are. Now hopefully, if we do go suitably over and it runs into the new year, I will of course ensure that there is an update between Christmas and New Year. So let's wait and see. But for the moment, guys, from me here in central London, looking over at Trafalgar Square, National Gallery and the Christmas market. Enjoy the holidays, people, and back soon. Bye for now.